Today we're going to show you how to adjust the preload on your full body coilover. Yo, what's good? It's your boy Rob coming at you today with the DIY video. I've gotten a couple questions from the viewers on the comment section about how to adjust the preload specifically on the function form coilovers. Now, the preload essentially will work on almost any full body coilover. So this is just going to be a general rule of thumb kind of DIY, and I'm also going to show you how you can adjust the height. I mean, all this stuff is really simple, so it's going to be really quick. Let's get into it. So what I did already was I loosened up the spring in here with these two perches. The spring here is, you can see how it's in here loose. It's not tight or anything whatsoever. So to essentially set the preload, if you had to uninstall these from the vehicle, because they do come preloaded out of the box, but if you did have to uninstall them from a vehicle, or if you bought them used or whatnot, and you do have to adjust the preload, here we go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set the spring up to the top of the mount. Just hold it with your hand, and we're gonna turn this bottom perch until it is hand tight against the spring. Okay, so the spring is not moving around anymore. Now, the general rule of thumb on preload is about 4 to 5 millimeters, depending on the spring length. Now, this spring length is 200 millimeters. We want to compress it between 4 to 5 millimeters to set the preload. What this does is it actually activates the spring use with the shock. It pretty much ties the two together. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the second perch and we're gonna spin it tight up against the bottom spring perch. Okay, so there we go. From there, a rule of thumb, your spammer wrench on general is 4 to 5 millimeters thick. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna space this out to go up 4 or 5 millimeters to where your wrench is gonna fit in between this bottom. Essentially, I'm gonna be able to fit this wrench in between these two collars by the time it's done preloaded. Now, as you can see, I can fit the spammer wrench in between, which tells me I have between 4 to 5 millimeters of preload set in there, which is perfect. Spring's nice and tight, so what we're gonna do, just meet up that bottom perch to the spring perch. Go ahead and set it down. There we go. So essentially the preload is set on this coilover. Now, if you wanted to adjust the height with it on the vehicle, it would be mounted up there and you would not have to adjust this anymore. This is done, spring is in there nice and tight. What you're gonna do is you're gonna unspin this collar from the bottom fork, or it's either gonna be the fork or the knuckle, depending on what type of vehicle it is, and you are gonna spin the actual piece through the threaded collars on the shock, up and down. You're not gonna do it with the spring adjusting the height. You're actually gonna do it with this bottom piece. So you would adjust it to however high and low you wanna go. Let's say, right there would be good, essentially, if it was on the vehicle and that's where you measured it should be at. You're just gonna turn that collar down back to the piece, hold it with your hand, and this is actually on the vehicle too. You're just gonna grab one of your spammer wrenches, the smaller one. This is the one I like to use down here. Just tighten it up like that. You don't want to do it too tight, because that way you want to make sure you get it off. A little bit of debris and stuff gets in there, can make it really hard to seize it up. So there you go. There's a quick video how you can preload your coilovers. I really hope that helped. This is Robbie, your parts coming your way. Please smash that thumbs up button if you can and leave a comment. I would really appreciate it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.